Good morning, I'm Sharaad Kuttan and welcome to BFM's Morning Headlines. It's the 10th of December, it's Human Rights Day globally and in Malaysia too. First we look at Sinar Harian along with the Star cover the Highland Towers tragedy of 20 years ago. It's an anniversary. Both newspapers claim they're doing exclusive. The Star has an interview with Musa Hitam, who lost his son and daughter-in-law in that tragedy. But Sinar Harian really gives 5 pages of coverage, mostly on what happened then, and also the series of tragedies of similar nature involving hill slope failures. Now, the story I think was really missed out this morning in both the newspapers' coverage is really the story of the saga, the civil suit that was taken by the individuals involved against all those parties they believe were responsible. They didn't get any justice in court. The court didn't find the case in their favor, and therefore they didn't get closure on that level. Rather sad, and I think it's a story that needs to be told still today to find out why it is that the courts failed to provide justice for the victims of the Highland Towers tragedy. Moving on, the Malay Mail covers foreign events both in Singapore and Thailand, because the talk of the day is the Singapore riot, the riot in Little India as they call it. I think, in fact, the best thing about today's Malay Mail is a comment piece in the middle section there by a man called Devadas Krishnadas, and he's a former senior police officer who runs an organization called Future Movers. A very level-headed response to the problem, saying that part of the fallout for Singapore will not be about its damaged reputation about being a safe haven and all that, but more importantly, if the kind of racist vitriol that is spewed both online and otherwise, the kind of overreaction to the migrant population, which is huge in Singapore, continues, that will be more damaging, he says. And the word for the day is xenophobia, which is, of course, the fear of foreigners. Now, apparently, Malaysians were involved. This, and Berita Harian has in its inside pages that story. Many of the auxiliary police that were involved who were hurt are in fact Malaysians, and they say, according to sources, that one of the 27 arrested is a Malaysian. Now, what we do know from the wire services is that of the people charged this morning, one is a permanent resident, but his nationality has not been revealed. He's likely to be that Malaysian. Foreign affairs, always great pictures for newspapers. Edge Financial Daily even has this one. That's, of course, the Thai protests and the question of how much these Thai protests are hurting the economy. Apparently not so at this point in time. They're doing quite well. Now, the Sun also has that picture story, again, the Little India riot. But more importantly, this story, robber cops again. And this, of course, is how our men in blue, some of them who go rogue and try and do what they're supposed to prevent, which is crime. 4 policemen were involved in this particular case, and it was the quick thinking acting of the Sharaad CID, or Criminal Investigation Department, that led to their arrest. Hopefully they will be charged in court and found guilty, if guilty. That's something we look forward to always. New Straits Times goes, it floods, but that's not the real story. The story is down here, which is major gas discovery, means a flood of wealth for Malaysia. The question always is, and I don't think there's been any doubt that we're a rich nation, is how is our wealth being managed? Are we going to put more money in the hands of people who've not been managing our wealth very well? That's a question for you to answer. Berita Harian has a non-story, a real non-story. This is because about how if you have a master's degree or a PhD, your entry point remuneration will be higher. I don't see how this is a national story, but anyway, except for all those who want to go into the public service. That's a very interesting image there. You see it, it's a little baby by a grave, baby found abandoned. The question was, when was this photograph taken? I don't understand it. Unless the photographer was the person who found the baby, was first there, I don't see how the shot could have been taken except to leave the baby there or get the baby to pose by the great. Not a very good idea, I think. I think that the priority ought to have been save the child. And that makes an appearance on Harian Metro as well, you see. It's a dramatic picture, no doubt. Utusan Malaysia, not just fit for wrapping fish, but really a barometer of how, where this country is lurching towards in terms of its politics. KDN ada bukti. Now this is a reference to charges that some people in the past leadership, that's the Islamic Party's leadership, are Shia. Now the question is whether that's in fact illegal. What difference does it make if you have proof that they are adherents of that way of thinking about Islam? But it seems to me that here you have a politician who's using state institutions in a political game, and that's very dangerous. I think most Malaysians would like to see politicians focus on policy, doing something constructive for the country, rather than using institutions to beat their foes over the head with. Now, we end with Harian Metro, always good for a laugh. Pondan Pontianak, there you have it, folks. Pondan Pontianak. Apparently, some sex workers, transgendered sex workers caught who put up some resistance, and therefore the Pontianak, they scratched and they bit immigration officers. Thank you very much for joining us. You've been watching BFM's Morning Headlines with me, Sharaad Kuttan, this 10th of December 2013, BFM 89.9.